If you feel a little bit out of the loop when it comes to the job market and you're wondering what in the world is going on and where are we headed, and then today is a good day for you because we're going to catch the wave. And I'm going to tell you what's already taking place and what's coming in 2026 and beyond. You remember when Bitcoin felt a little bit shady? Nobody really believed in it. Nobody thought it would turn into anything. And now we have Bitcoin millionaires. What about the moms all across the world who are now retiring their husbands with their Etsy store of all things? And I don't know about you, but I don't think any of us saw professional influencers coming. I mean, seriously, like a legit career out of 10-second dance reels? I never thought it would happen. Opportunities are everywhere, and the tide turns when nobody's looking. And the tide turned for my career not that long ago. And I want to share that story with you because if you're in a job search right now, the tide is turning for you too. And I want you to really see this before it fully hits. See, back in 2024, the market was dry as a desert. There wasn't an open position in my field for 400 miles. And by the way, that's a 5 hour commute. You'd apply, and what would you hear? One guess. Yep, that's it, pitch black silence. Eventually, you'd stop applying altogether because it was so discouraging. And I remember thinking, what did I get a master's for? For $40,000 a year? There's literally nothing I could do. It's because when you're on the outside, you have no idea what's happening behind the scenes, and you can't strike while the iron's hot. You're just waiting for things to trickle down. And by the time they do, it's too late because now everyone's back in the game and it's ultra competitive yet again. But one day I was in prayer, I was reading my Bible, and out of left field, the Lord put something on my heart. I've got a position for you in counseling. Now, you don't have to tell me twice. I started looking immediately, and it was almost if out of the sky, behold, there was one role available, and it happened to be within driving distance. And you know, when you read a job description and you feel like, wow, this is so me. It was made for me. It's perfect. There's no way they're not going to call me back. That's how I felt. So I applied. And I'm going to give you one guess as to what I heard back. Exactly. Pitch black silence. I thought, you know what? Forget it. This is so frustrating. I obviously didn't hear right. This was just me. This is what I want, whatever. But then not long after, I heard it again. And this time, it was really clear. And so, in faith, this girl quit her super secure job. And it was so terrifying because I remember thinking, what in the world did I just do? There's nothing for miles. But what I didn't know was what was happening behind the scenes. At that moment, the tide was turning. People were retiring. There was budget fluctuations that were bringing in extra funding, building new programs. And all of a sudden, there was a flood of positions. Within a couple of weeks, I landed 6 different adjunct faculty roles in 6 different offices. Now, these were part time roles, so multiple positions are normal because typically you do a part time role for 2 years before they ever consider you for a full time tenure track position. So I'm in these 6 positions, and within 6 months, I was offered a full time role. Within 1 year, I landed a tenure track counseling faculty position. I came in early. Unknowingly, I caught the wave on an opportunity nobody else saw coming. And today, there's a fundamental change happening in the job search that I want to introduce you to. And it's a change that by looking at so many resumes, I can tell you nobody sees coming. Hey there. This is the Uncommon Career Podcast, helping you catch your career blind spots and elevate your job search so you can make real progress. My name is Patricia, and I help mid-career women break through the noise, get crystal clear on their direction, and build a brand that hiring teams instantly recognize as a match. I combine career branding and strategy with emotional intelligence coaching so that you can show up as your very best self. And if you want to learn our strategy to get your job search on the right track from the start and avoid all that rejection and ghosting that you would experience otherwise, then go to theuncommoncareer.com/90. That's theuncommoncareer.com/90 for access. Now, before we get into the nitty gritty of it all, let me lay the foundation with a bit of historical context. We'll start back in the 70s and 80s. When you were in the job search, you were circling newspaper ads and sending in mailed resumes and handwritten applications. But then in the 90s, the applicant tracking system was born. But they were really simple and they filtered only for keywords, titles, and specific qualifications. It wasn't until the early 2000s that the internet came in and brought sites like monster.com where you can actually view applications online and even submit them online. In 2001, LinkedIn was launched. Now things are becoming more digital and filtering for keywords on resumes becomes automated. Fast forward to 2010, early artificial intelligence entered the picture. Not necessarily with applicant tracking systems, but we were just learning about what artificial intelligence is. It's now been 16 years since AI was officially born, in theory. I'm sure there was earlier versions of AI before 2010. But again, 16 years. Now we're in 2026. The biggest shift happening right now is the use and future optimization of artificial intelligence layered with the applicant tracking system. It's kind of like the shift from searching Google to asking AI. See, just a few years ago, you and I would enter keywords into Google and get a list of results based on that keyword. Now, with AI, you and I can go into ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini. We can ask a question in natural language, a full sentence, even a full paragraph describing exactly what you want. Now, instead of giving you a list of matches to choose from, AI reviews content and returns a synthesized response in its own words. So now, here's what a shift into AI looks like if we take it out of the Google context and into recruiting. An ATS, an applicant tracking system, can store and filter applications. And the new AI tools are then layered on top of that to help prioritize and rank. And it's in that AI review and prioritization that we're moving from keyword matching to more nuanced signal clarity. The system is now looking for a clarity in role alignment, meaning what role do you want? And does your career trajectory point to that role? Clearer narrative and clearer evidence of your outcomes. It's no longer word for word, it's message for message. I might even say brand for brand. Now, what does this mean for you? It means you've got to change how you job search. If you're job searching strategically, you have to change it. If you're just trying to find a job, any job, then go out for blind applications. And I could tell you right now, you probably don't need this episode. You probably don't need this podcast at all. You just need a ton of applications. But if you're looking for the right job, the best job, a job that's going to move your career forward, you got to change how you job search. They are using so much more strategy, and now it's your turn to add strategy into your own brand. Now, before I go any deeper, guessing in this new market is so costly. And so I want to give you a quick, short next step. If you want to know whether your brand is ready, meaning your career goals, career story, your resume, your LinkedIn, if they're all sharing the same message, I do a diagnostic call that audits your brand. You'll walk away knowing what part of your brand is clear, what part's vague, and what you need to spend your time on first. If that sounds like what you need, then head over to theuncommoncareer.com/audit to learn more and schedule a time. That again is theuncommoncareer.com/audit. So now, whereas before, the more keywords you had, in a sense, it felt like the more bonus points you got. But now, screening systems and AI assisted tools evaluate you more holistically at a deeper level than just looking at keywords. More and more, they look for signal consistency across everything you submit, whether that's resume, your application, your cover letter, maybe even your LinkedIn. Now, different parts of the hiring process can be evaluated by different systems. So, for example, one system might evaluate your resume match, but another system might, I don't know, work on AI virtual interviews. Either way, depending on how many or how few tools there are, inconsistency across what you submit and across what you say can lower your perceived match with the company and with the role. And I'm not just talking technology here. This is also the case for human decision makers. It's always been the case, but now human decision makers have more mental space because of how AI can analyze very, very quickly to be able to see these signals. So, when reviewing your materials, companies are looking for patterns, for consistency, or lack of consistency, which, depending on what the inconsistencies are in, it could kind of be a red flag sometimes. But more important than anything else, companies and hiring leaders are looking for clarity. If you're clear on who you are, if you're clear on what you do. And if you're clear on who you serve, it becomes easy for the system to interpret your brand and to be able to surface it to the top when it's most relevant. And this isn't just a tech. If a hiring leader or recruiter is looking at your resume and can't find the pattern in what you do, it's going to be harder for them to understand if you're the right fit, too. If there's friction and inconsistencies in the message you're trying to get across, it's harder to trust that you really are what they actually need. A project manager who's known for speed and cutting costs is the right person for company A, but company B really needs someone who specifically focuses on making durable, long term success happen. Your materials need to be clear on what kind of professional you are. So, is your brand crystal clear? Does it show who you are, what you do, and who you serve in a way that's consistent and easy to interpret? I know, right about now, someone's out there thinking, well, so and so got hired, so obviously nothing's changed. But once this wave fully crashes, it's going to become crystal clear that we're not in Kansas anymore. And that's why I want you thinking about this right now. Because for the past 20 years, companies have been spending millions on brand strategists to develop their online presence and their employer brand to attract the right professionals for their teams. Now they have the technology to quickly prioritize candidates that appear to clearly match the role and deprioritize those that don't. A well developed brand, not just for companies, but also for candidates, for professionals like you. A well developed brand is a new career currency. Now, this is a really big change, so I want to stop here for now. Let this simmer for the next week. Let this fundamental change really sink in. Because in the next episode, we'll break down what this might look like for your next application and what might be happening behind the scenes. For now, though, I would love to hear from you. Tell me what your first thought was when you heard this episode, and let me know what your questions are. Head over to theuncommoncareer.com/ask to ask your question or leave a comment. And I'd love to respond to you. I listen to every single one of them, and maybe you'll even be on a future episode. But hey, if your first thought was, I'm pretty sure my brand is definitely not ready for this, then don't sit on that uncertainty. I recommend you take action and book a diagnostic call. This isn't for our full program. This is a 50-minute call where I audit your brand for clarity, your resume, your LinkedIn, your overall message, all of that to target the roles you really want. And I tell you exactly what I think is working, what's unclear, and what you need to change so you don't get filtered out for lack of clarity. To schedule, go to theuncommoncareer.com/audit. And when you book, you'll send over your LinkedIn URL, your resume, and a handful of sample postings for the one role you're targeting so that you and I can get really specific. Again, that's theuncommoncareer.com/audit. I can't wait to meet with you or to answer your question. I'll see you next week when we break this down into more practical terms. But until then, you should know that right now you are on the upside of the tide, in position to take advantage of this new opportunity. As always, know that Denise and I are praying for you. We're cheering you on, and we'll see you on the next one. Hey, thanks for listening. I really appreciate you spending time with me today. If you found this episode helpful, please tap the 5-star review on the show's homepage in your podcast app. It would absolutely make my day, and it helps others discover the Uncommon Career Podcast. Now, to download your free career resources and learn how I help seasoned professionals land amazing offers in as little as 90 days, click on the link in the description or go to theuncommoncareer.com. Thanks again, and I'll see you on the next one.